What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to break down some very important things that Kathy Wood just said about Tesla and why she believes that the share price could go to over 1,500 a share in the next 5 years. So I'm going to break down whether or not that's true, what could actually contribute to that happening, and why it's very important to watch what's going on with Tesla's deliveries, their earnings, and etc. Now, before I break anything down about that, before I get into any more details about Kathy Wood's projection, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, whether it's $1 or $100, it's up to you. You're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each valued at up to $3,000. And the best part is, any could be a free Tesla share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 10 days. Make sure you check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, this thing clearly has a lot of potential from the fact that it's actually very diverse in what it's actually doing. Tesla is not only a car company, it's an AI company, it's a hardware company, a software company, a car seats company, if you want to go that route. It's also a energy company. It's so many things in one, right? And we know that all of these things could actually help the share price boost. But I believe that it's not just going to be about one sector or the other. I think all of them combined could help the share price. And if we just look at deliveries, deliveries alone could help the share price reach Kathy Wood's target. That's right. I believe she might be underestimating how much the company may grow in the next 5 years. Now, to start us off, I just want to mention something important. Kathy Wood has been buying Tesla. That's part of why we saw a lot of FOMO coming into it, especially after that earnings. And she sees the stock hitting, once again, $1,500 in the next 5 years. I do believe she's very correct about it reaching at least that much, but it's likely going to be even higher than that, in my opinion. Now, I can't predict the future perfectly. It's very dependent on different factors, from wars to pandemics. Things can affect the market. But at the same time, what is very important about the longer term future of companies are fundamentals. And I do believe that fundamentally Tesla is still very strong. If you look at their deliveries for the Model S, X, 3, and Y from each of the quarters over the last couple of years, the red rectangles right here represent 2022. We've just seen immense growth year after year after year. And you can see every single year we've seen them just get bigger and bigger on a very, very big uptrend from the first quarter of 2015 going all the way up to about 2022. Massive growth just continues, and almost, I wouldn't necessarily say it looks exponential, but it's following a path that's very similar to that. So could Tesla reach 50% growth year over year? I don't believe they're going to achieve that every single year, but if they aim for achieving that, the odds of them getting close keeps on increasing. And I believe that we don't even have to think way too much about AI. I know AI is very dependent on regulations and etc., but I do believe that the full self-driving technology will help them. But even if we don't focus on that, even if we don't focus on their energy sector or things like that, I think the share price could still reach Kathy Wood's target. And I'm going to show you exactly why. If we solely look at Tesla's revenue from just their cars and how many cars that are selling, you could see how the share price will most likely still continue to increase just based off deliveries alone. If we start off from like 2022's numbers, and we say something that like the revenue was 85 billion or so, EPS at about $9 a share, you could see right over here strong EPS, and we could see a stock price around here for the year. This is just a random estimate. Going into 2023, I don't know what Tesla's exactly going to do for the remainder of the year, because I am still more likely to see us end up with a decent close, but it's very dependent on the economy as well. I know the economy is likely going to be entering a recession. It's very probable. And a lot of yields, a lot of indicators, a lot of signals are all pointing in that direction. So I don't know if Tesla's going to just end up, coming down with the market for the near term and then seeing a big recovery by the end of the year, or if the big drop doesn't happen until like closer to the end of the year. Either way, it's very hard to predict. But what I will say is I'm not too worried about the share price for this year. What I do want to talk about for as a longer term investor, right? What I want to talk about is how many cars did they sell, and I do believe they could reach some very very ambitious targets. They could get to over 3 million, maybe 2.5 million on the shorter end. We could also see revenue see a very big increase. Earnings per share could also see a huge increase as well. This could be adjusted depending on margins and etc., but these are just some rough estimates. And going forward, if their margins keep on increasing, if we keep on seeing the same growth, revenue could enter the 200 billions by 2024. They may be able to sell over 3.5 million cars worldwide. The share price would easily surpass 400 or the all-time high by then, in my opinion. Now, once again, the reason I'm putting 400 for 2024 is because I don't know what 2023 is going to bring approaching the end of the year. There is a chance the market could have a slowdown going to the second half, right? That still is very possible. But I do believe that even if worst comes to show and we get another massive crash in 2023, by 2024, like I said, Tesla will likely reach this target of 400, maybe even surpass it. I think it's very possible to do that. And by 2025, we could quite easily surpass this target right here as well. And I just want to note that that's very important for many Tesla investors out there. We could see 5 million plus cars sold and deliveries as well by 2025 in just 1 year. That could bring the revenue into the 300 billions. Share price could hit 600 or even higher than that. Even higher than that, right? That still is very possible. But just remember, 2025 is just 2 years away. So that's not even that long. And that is still a crazy amount of growth for Tesla's share price. Now, this could be way higher depending on how 2023 goes and how deliveries and etc. go amidst a potential recession. That's the reason why I'm trying to be a little bit more on the conservative side. For 2026, we can see the share price reach at least 900, maybe even higher than that, if we get over 7.5 million deliveries alone, plus revenue. For 2027 and beyond, going into like 2028, we could see over 15 million cars sold, $1+ trillion in revenue, a very high earnings per share, followed by some crazy returns, somewhere between 1,200 to 1,700 a share, or 1,500, which is what Kathy Wood is projecting in the next 5 years, which is going to be by 2028. So the bottom line is, in my opinion, I think that deliveries alone could bring Tesla to that price, and other factors such as, there's Optimus, there's the energy sector, Tesla with the supercharging network. All these things combined may even cause it to go even higher than this. This is just a rough estimate. I think Cathy Wood could be underestimating it. It could even reach around like 1,700 to 2,000 a share by then, right? I think that's very possible. As Elon Musk said, Tesla's likely going to become the biggest company in the world, looking at the growth coming from them. So I'm still very bullish. That's the bottom line. And I do believe that whether the market does get another massive crash or not, uh, if you bought at 100, even if you buy at 200, that's a very good place, because in the next 5 years or less, this stock is going to easily, in my opinion, it has the potential to easily surpass over 1,000 a share, maybe 1,500 a share, or even higher than that. That's a crazy return in just a couple of years. Now, on top of that, I also want to note that when investing, I know I can't give financial advice, but it's very important to be very careful and manage risks. And I'm not giving financial advice, by the way, but I say that because going all in at one price is not always the most intelligent way of going about things. It's important to dollar cost average, because as I mentioned in my previous videos, I don't think the downside for Tesla is done. We do have many divergences pointing at the fact that Tesla is likely in a topping process, and we will likely have some downside in the future. So whether or not this downside is just going to be like temporary, or if this is going to be the result of the market seeing another big sell-off, it really could drag Tesla down. And that's why it's important to be very careful, but simultaneously look at these drops as opportunities to load up on shares for the long term, because Tesla really is a very amazing company, and I think it has so much potential. On top of that, there are more opportunities in the options chain if you learn how to buy leaps and trade them. That's really your own choice. But one thing that many investors always remember is the importance of hedging, mitigating risks, using stop losses, and etc. So I'm not giving any financial advice. I just want to make it very clear to everyone that, look, For the short term, there might be pain for Tesla. We might see Tesla's share price drop a bit. We might see the market come down, right? There are some potentially bullish looking setups with the dollar breaking out, the bonds market getting ready with the breakouts, the Fed hinting at even more rate hikes and being even more hawkish. There is going to likely be more downside with this overextended rally. And I do believe it's likely going to happen starting maybe like next week, maybe going into the next couple of weeks. And we know historically this does tend to drag Tesla down. So please, please, please be prepared. Make sure that you are very, very cautious during times like these because the market is very tricky and the market makers love to make money off of retail. They manipulate stocks just to make the most money possible. And they also trick people into, either buying or selling near the bottom or I'm sorry, selling near the top or bottom. I mean, it's just madness, right? That's the bottom line. They trick people into selling at the bottom or even like buying way too much at the top. A lot of people are very, very bullish still. The best thing to do is just read the charts and be very careful. I also want to note that the risk is to the upside, meaning that if you're buying at these high levels, this is technically more risky considering the fact that we are overextended and the market is telling us, these technical indicators are telling us we are on the verge of seeing some downside soon. All right. And by the way, not financial advice. I want to make that very clear. But please, please, please be ready. And also know that, in my opinion, fundamentals are what are key for companies. Fundamentals will come out on top. And I believe that Tesla is going to be the most valuable company on the planet. I believe Elon Musk is correct about that. I also believe that Kathy Wood may be estimating it properly, or she could be underestimating where Tesla's going to go over the next couple of years. All right. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. She could even be trying to be conservative. Completely fine. We are still bullish and we're still in this together. Thank you all so much for listening. Please be ready for what the market has to offer because, like I said before, the pain is not over, in my opinion. Downside is still yet to come, and the extent of the downside is dependent on the Fed and what happens amidst the sentiments, and also because of other black swan events. I want to note that right now, geopolitical issues are still on the rise. Tensions are very high right now. You know, anything could happen. So big, big, big downside, or even the talk about new lows coming into the markets is not off the table. It is still a possibility. All right. So just be ready. Please be prepared and do what you have to do. Thank you all for listening. Please have an absolutely incredible, incredible weekend. I also want to note that the market's going to be closed on Monday. There will not be trading on Monday. Okay. So please be ready. Maybe take a day off on Monday instead of trading. Do something else. Take some time off. Spend time with family. Go to a park. I mean, it's really just your choice. But I want the best for everyone. I will make a video tomorrow and finally on Monday where I talk about what's likely going to happen by Tuesday when the market reopens. So please enjoy the weekend and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon because the long-term future is still incredibly bright. And peace out.